And you have not pissed us off. We are doing our job.
No,
whether you agree or not doesn't matter. It's a moot
you take
point.
orders from the top. You don't know the laws and the rights. Law is canon law.
We do.
Welcome back. This is Jason Matthews. I am a recently retired law enforcement officer. I was also a use of force instructor and a taser instructor during my career. This is part 3 as I continue to comment on this public domain video that was released out of Florida. I'm giving you my perspective on what I might be thinking if I was in this officer's shoes, what actions I might consider, and also giving you some information that the general public doesn't know about law enforcement based on my training and experience. I don't know the details of this incident, and this is all hypothetical, being that a body camera is a limited static view of the incident. I'm just reacting to what I'm seeing while I'm watching in real time, just like you. But before we get started, if you support the police, click the like button. And if you do not support the police, click the dislike button. It's completely anonymous. I'm just curious of where you stand. Okay, let's get started. In part 2, we observed in this video, it appears that the officer has placed an individual in handcuffs and has converted the detention, meaning that they were detained, into an arrest. They are now, in the officer's words, under arrest. And now we have a discussion going about what laws apply, whether they apply, and what laws we're talking about, the U.S. Constitution, state law, and so much more. So let's go ahead and continue and watch what this discussion is all about.
Sergeant Turner.
And in this country, what laws do we follow?
Canon law. Y'all follow canon law. We follow
The rest
natural
of
law.
Who is we?
Law.
Who is we? Who's we? Tell me who we is.
Police officers.
No, police officers. We are police officers. We're not peace officers. We're police officers.
Yeah.
Now, this is an interesting discussion. You hear what he said? He said, we are not peace officers. We are police officers. Now, I don't know about all jurisdictions. It varies by state. And I'm not an expert on the difference between a peace officer and a police officer. But what I do know, in some states, police officers are not peace officers. And that's based on state law. Whereas, for example, I believe the VA police, Veterans Administration Police, and other officers, police officers, are not recognized under some state laws as peace officers. And as a peace officer, that conveys certain powers on someone in usually the jurisdiction of a state. So they're not synonymous terms. A peace officer is not necessarily a police officer, and vice versa. And when I say police officer, I mean the general term of that means a law enforcement officer. Because there's many types of law enforcement, police, sheriff, many, many different things. And in some states, correctional officers are considered peace officers and have peace officer power. So if someone has any more knowledge about that, you can explain it to me down in the comments. But that's my basic understanding, and it varies by state and it varies by jurisdiction.
Yes, I know that now.
So then your argument just needs to stop, and you just need to sit there quietly.
Sergeant Turner, please
Yes.
just let me go home.
No.
Why?
Because you do not have a valid driver's license, and you have done nothing but give my officers a hard time during this entire ordeal.
I tell you that I have rights.
You don't know your rights.
I haven't
Clearly,
been ugly to y'all. I haven't yelled at you.
You have not been cooperative.
I haven't been cooperative.
Not
silent?
At all.
Just go with it.
No, just be honest.
Sergeant, please.
You don't have a license.
Okay, I'll never drive again.
Yes, you will, because you believe you don't have to have a license.
I'll go get a driver's license tomorrow.
Well, wait a minute. Now you're telling me that you'll go get a license.
Because you're telling me that I have no
believe
choice.
You don't. That's correct. You have no choice.
Sergeant Turner,
So
please
this
just let
is
me
the
go home.
this is the road that's being taken, and this is what's going to happen.
Now, me as a law enforcement officer, I'll say it again. I would not take that much time to really what it is, we'll call it what it is, the officer is arguing with the suspect, is arguing with the individual. And I think this is a supervisor, but in my opinion, as we progress in law enforcement, we don't have the need or even the desire to explain ourselves ad nauseum. And what's happening here is the officer just going on and on and on and on and on, trying to explain or argue. I don't know if that's because of the body camera that I mentioned in part 2, or it's the officer generally. In my experience, in my personal experience, when I was younger in my career, I felt like I had to explain myself more. As I progressed in my career and matured in my career, I felt less of a need to have to explain or argue about a situation.
You failed to appear on a court appearance for, what was it, expired license? So your Mississippi driver's license is expired.
And for the registration.
Okay, and the registration. So you had a court date that you missed. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
You don't, or you choose not to?
No, sir. I would not lie to you. I don't lie. I do not remember that.
Okay, well, you do have a warrant out of Santa Rosa County. So
We're
regardless,
in Santa Rosa County.
you're in Santa Rosa County.
So he is now saying she has an arrest warrant. That's what he's basically saying, a warrant, but what he means is an arrest warrant. What's an arrest warrant? That basically means that it could be for a variety of reasons, but normally speaking, one of the most common reasons that someone would have an arrest warrant is they failed to appear in court for some type of violation.
Do you not know where you live?
I just moved here. My
When?
mother lives on High Point.
When did you move here?
About 2 months ago from Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Okay. And you don't know what county you live in now after 2 months?
No, I don't. That's not something I use often. What county I live in.
Okay. Well, you are going to jail tonight.
Well, thank you, Sergeant Turner.
You're welcome. I can do that too. I can stare at you.
You know that you are doing the wrong thing.
That's very common in my experience. People will stare. And my thought on it is people are trying to change your mind about a circumstance. And it's effective to some degree on some people, staring. But once you get enough experience, then I just blow it off.
Nope, I know.
Y'all could let me go and handle my warrant tomorrow.
No, we can't.
Right, because y'all have something to prove.
I don't have anything to prove. My officer certainly doesn't have anything to prove. But what we want you to understand is there are laws that you have to follow. Whether you agree with them or not is a moot point. Because if you choose not to follow them and you continue to act like this and do this, you're just going to constantly be going to jail. Is that what you really want?
I'm not acting like or doing anything like.
You told us that you don't have to have a driver's license to drive. And clearly you do.
Can I please call my mother?
No, you will be able to call your mother from the jail.
Please let me go ahead and call her so she can head there.
No.
She's sleeping, please.
By the time you get booked in and everything, it'll be early enough in the morning. You can call her and she'll probably be getting up.
This is going to take hours?
It's not going to take hours, but it's going to take some
Sergeant
time.
Turner, please. Can you just
The answer is no.
You got some karma.
I'm not worried about my karma.
I know. You're one of those.
See, So what I'm curious about in this whole circumstance is the individual was asking for a supervisor. And so I can only speculate. I don't know. But I believe the reason why people would ask for a supervisor, it could be for several reasons. Maybe they've been able to convince a supervisor in the past, and I'm generally speaking about anyone. Maybe they have been who has asked for a supervisor. Maybe they've been able to convince a supervisor in the past, which is unfortunate. In most cases, I'm in 99% of the cases. Number two, they think that they're going to get just a second person there to play off of the first officer, because in this circumstance, nothing really changed. Not only did it not change the result, but it seems like the supervisor is completely 100% backing the officer.
No, you know what I'm actually worried about? People like
You're
you
actually worried
who
about
think that
getting your
laws
quota.
don't. No, there is no
No,
quota.
there
It's
are
people
laws
like
that
you
don't
who
matter.
believe that laws don't pertain to them. And that's just
They
not
don't.
the case.
They don't.
Then enjoy spending a lifetime in and out of jail, because
I've
that
never
is what
been
will
to jail.
happen.
Though it won't, actually.
If you continue to act like this and do this, it will.
I'm not acting like anything.
Then I would suggest moving back to
rights
Mississippi.
I'm not moving back to Mississippi.
Then if
either.
you stay living here and driving a car without getting a valid driver's license, that is what is going to happen.
You do not have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle. I've already been through roadblocks with state troopers with this.
Then they're not very good state troopers.
Yes, they are, because they.
Good response. I've used that response in the past. You hear what he said? He said, then they're not very good state troopers. This has come up in my career many times where someone has said, even in my jurisdiction, where someone has said, well, so-and-so let me do it. Or, well, police in whatever state let me do it. Or something to that effect. And my response was exactly the response of this individual, this officer, is, well, they're not doing their job then. That's their problem. I'm going to do my job. And in some cases, officers are not doing their job. Either they've been convinced out of doing their job, influenced otherwise, I assume, or they don't want to do their job, or whatever the case may be. But that's my experience.
They know their rights. And they
No,
know the law.
no. If they let you through with this garbage, they're not.
This is not garbage.
It's garbage.
Have you done any research into it?
More than you will ever know.
Okay,
You're not
well,
the
then
first
you would know
one.
It's not garbage.
You're not the first person I've run across that thinks this way. And,
yeah, I know.
And
we're a problem.
Those
now.
other people went to jail too.
Okay, that does it for part 3. The next part of the video is available on this channel, so go watch it. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released. Take care and have a great day. Part 4, we will continue in this very interesting legal discussion that these individuals are having about laws and the Constitution, and I will have further insight from my personal perspective. Have a great day.